This is some behind the scenes footage of a shoot at the end of last year, a documentary shoot. I just figured out why my f22C wasn't turning on. There was a little hair in the control box, the ballast of the light. My 60X was working fine, but I would have been really screwed if my main key light didn't turn on. I'm glad I spotted the hair. I'd been gaffing on a shoot a few days before, so I'd just been dragging this light around everywhere, and that's all it took for the light not to come on. After about 10 seconds, it would just switch itself off. These are my pre-production documents for this documentary film which I was making, but what I was actually getting hired to do was a little bit of web design, which is definitely not my forte, but in terms of the design of it, that's something that I was really happy doing, and also some photography for that. The film was just a little extra. I really want to do more branding stuff. You'll see in some of my marketing materials, which I'm working on at the moment, I want to help people figure out their positioning and how they want to sell themselves. So this was quite an interesting one. Being able to shoot a project as a little add-on, kind of a favour to me, being able to make this film, but it gave me a bit more creative control and time. It was really low pressure. Edward's lovely to shoot with, so he let me kind of experiment with things. I got 2 interview frames, which I really like. You can see how screwed I would have been without that key light. I thought it was the header cable that was broken. Obviously, with the f22C, that's built into the light, so that would have been the end of the light. I'd pretty much already grieved it before I realised it was just a tiny little hair, like literally the smallest little hair. I'm just very glad it didn't go inside the light. And you can see we've kind of lit up the back wall. I was just trying things out. This is one of my first 2 camera setups. I'd done one of these before, but just kind of nailing that second angle and playing around with that. And then we did our B-roll. This year, and for this shoot, I wanted to light my B-roll. I had this backlight coming in, which made it look very dramatic. I'll show you the footage in a second. And I was actually switching between my A7 IV for 25p stuff and then the ZV-E1. You can see how easy it is and how light it is just to switch out and get a slightly closer shot, get some really quick burst shots in 100 frames a second, and then getting some overheads. That was fun. These shots turned out really great. The B-roll I'm equally as happy with as the interview, so I'm going to be editing this film in the next few weeks, along with the photos and Edward's new website. He's a book conservator, so it's an incredibly fascinating craft. He's kind of works very precisely on these really old manuscripts. I was getting him to showcase all of his tools, and he had a very good idea of what would look good on camera. So we just kind of did like the interview first, then we did an hour or so capturing B-roll of this sort of thing that you're watching now, and then we did stills as well, which are going to be most useful to him. But I'm hoping he'll be able to use this film as a bit of a brand video, and this will serve as a great portfolio piece for me as well. But the final shots turn out really nice, super crispy. You can see this is some of the high-speed stuff. Really nice to be able to switch between 2 cameras. It actually made the day go a lot quicker and a lot less faff. This is the photography, I believe. So I then used the ZV-E1 as behind-the-scenes camera, so you can see that I'm really making the most of it here. Stills on the A7 IV are incredible. They're 33 megapixel photos, so they turn out really nice, and basically just shooting the same thing we'd already shot with the video, so we were a lot quicker, and we'd already discussed the web design. We'd had a kind of meeting to talk about what we wanted to include with the photos, so we had a clear plan for that, and these are how the photos turned out. They're very similar to the video, but you can see kind of getting some more fine details. I love these overhead ones. The lighting is quite dramatic, but we really weren't getting anything from that window behind. And I've just zoomed in on this one here, so you can see the sheer resolution that you get with these photos. I just love all of the textures. This is present in the film as well, but I was able to be really creative with the different angles. I was just practicing my portraiture. I don't do a lot of stills photography, so this was an exciting shoot where I basically got to do everything with very little pressure. I'm really pleased with how the photos and videos turned out, and we'll work to get those edited in the next few weeks.